This is Andy Purewal for Boxing News. I'm joined by promoter Eddie Hearn here in Atlantic City. Eddie, it's good to see you. A busy morning for yourself travelling down. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I had a few days on the East Coast. I was with Katie Taylor last night, had a bit of dinner. It was very nice. Travelled down this morning and looking forward to Saturday. It's a big moment for us. This is. I know we've done some big shows in America, but this is right up there and quite iconic to fill the Boardwalk Hall. Massive fight for Giron. Massive. And I think the fight of the year, Saturday night. I really do.
It's a fantastic fight. A lot of people see this as a 50-50 on the back of especially Jaron's performance against Shashadzian in their rematch. If he was to deliver something similar to what we saw then, how concerned are you for Saturday night?
I think he could get beat. You know, I mean, Giron's going to have to put the performance together that we're expecting of him because of the level that we believe him to be at. I mean, I believe he's a pound-for-pound quality fighter, but you'll have to beat Stanionis. He's a machine. All gas, no brakes, as he said. And that's why you're going to see a great fight, because you're going to see how good Ennis is. Because Stanionis will not lay down. And, you know, I was quite surprised to see Bozy call out the early knockout. You know, I can see it because Stanionis will come to fight. But it's going to be an electric night. You know, sold out at Boardwalk Hall. It's going to be a great night.
I know you've got to take it one fight at a time. He's made no secret of his desire to become an undisputed champion. I'm sure you saw Brian Norman Jr. with a message to you after his recent victory. What do you make of his comments and his suggestions that he wants a serious offer from you?
But I mean, we made him a huge offer. We made him an offer bigger than Stanionis got. So, with all due respect to Brian Norman, he just fought on the undercard of Michaela Meyer against Andy Ryan. The offer that we made Brian Norman, it should lead to him having a picture of me in his living room that he walks past on a daily basis and says, thank you very much. Because he'll never get an opportunity to earn money like this. Now, we've got to make a decision. If we beat Stanionis, do we stay at 47 or do we move up to 54? I kind of get the feeling that Boots is going to want to win the other belts, if I'm honest. But we've got to get through Stanionis first, and I'd love to make the Brian Norman fight. I spoke to Aaron 2 days ago about making the fight, but the fight's got to be sensible. You know, there's a number for this fight, and the problem is a lot of these fighters get told by an advisor or sometimes a family member, this is the number for you for this fight. On what basis? You know? So we actually offered Brian Norman the same money that Boots is on for the fight. And Boots sells out every arena he fights in.
One thing I do want to pick up as well, and you've just said you had conversations with Bob Arum. We saw Tom Brown up on stage today. Seems like the relationships are certainly in a good place or a better place than maybe when you initially came to American shores.
Yeah, you know that I've always had a good relationship with PBC through Louis de Cubas. You know, he's someone I consider a friend. I think he's one of the best operators in the sport. We made Joshua against Charles Martin back for the World Heavyweight Championship. We've made dozens of fights together. But at the same time, sometimes, I wouldn't say I've never had a bad relationship with Tom Brown. But at the same time, I think the relationship's good now. I think we're all talking. I mean, you know, we're talking to Louis about Benavidez against Callum Smith, about Dalton Smith against Puello, about Magasau against Rocky Hernandez. Like, we could put a whole card together. And it's great for the sport. I think that there seems to be a real coming together of promoters to try and make the best fights now. And I think that's great for boxing.
On the theme of Benavidez-Smith, it'd be a fantastic fight if it could happen. Do you think it's likely, obviously Benavidez recently been upgraded to WBC full champion?
Absolutely. I mean, you know, we're already, like I said, we're discussing that fight with Louis. No firm offers made, but I don't see. Tell me another fight that Benavidez could make. That light heavyweight division is actually quite thin at the top in terms of big names. And, you know, I think Callum's got great options ahead. He's going to be mandatory to Dimitri Bivol. You've got the potential Yard fight on a 5v5. You've got the Benavidez fight. You know, it's really interesting. And I think David Benavidez against Callum Smith's a hell of a fight.
Obviously, with him being elevated to full champion, Dimitri Bivol vacated that title. Just your understanding where we're at in that Better BF trilogy and why he's gone down that route instead of trying to face David Benavidez.
It's contracted. Doesn't matter if he wanted to or not. We signed a contract, and more importantly, we gave our word to His Excellency. You know, Turki Alalshikh gave Dimitri Bivol 4 fights now. I mean, the most incredible opportunities, and most importantly, he gave him an opportunity to fight Beterbiev for the Undisputed Championship. And when Bivol lost, and I think even His Excellency said he thought he won the first fight, he said, "I will deliver you the rematch." He delivered the rematch. And when we signed for the rematch, we confirmed that we will allow the rematch or the trilogy fight to take place as well. So contractually we couldn't have done it. I was very surprised at the speed that the pressure was put on. Like when you win a championship, normally you get some grace in there as well. It wasn't like Benavidez was ordered months ago or years ago. It was just right, boom, negotiations begin now. Okay, right, purse bid been ordered. I mean, we even heard the public, the offers that were made public by the organisation. I mean, it's quite a strange kind of, felt like there was a lot of pressure there. But it didn't matter if the offer was 8 million or 28 million. We have signed a contract and we are people of our word. And so is Dmitry Bivol, more than probably 99.9% of fighters. So, yeah, it was disappointing because I feel like great fights like that should override mandatories. But I understand it's a tough job for the governing bodies because they're under a lot of pressure as well. And, they made their decision and we live with it.
On all things Riyadh season, Turki Alalshikh and what have you, I'm sure you've seen, maybe even spoken to Shakur Stevenson after his recent comments about trying to make the William Zepeda fight. Oscar De La Hoya suggesting that he's going to pull out again. What do you make of Shakur saying that he was receiving a lower offer than what he initially would have had if he fought Zepeda when it was first announced?
That's true. Well, one fight was going to be in Saudi, and obviously now then this fight was proposed to be in America, and it is a different market. But Shakur's well within his rights, and he likes to speak out as well. And the money that was originally discussed is now not the money if we do that fight in America. So the WBC have called negotiations. One thing's for sure, Shakur's not pulling out of anything. He's never pulled out of a Zepeda fight. He's desperate for that fight. And the good news is I spoke to Eric Gomez and Oscar and the team. They want the fight as well. So we're hoping that Matchroom, Golden Boy and DAZN can put forward the numbers for a big fight this summer. Maybe there's even a 5v5 on the undercard as well. And we can deliver a huge fight and a great fight for the fans. And that is what is next for Shakur. Zepeda. It's a great fight. And once he beats Zepeda, we'll fight Tank. And it will be the biggest fight in boxing.
With Shakur's approach of saying he didn't come from Turkey, it came from, in his word, the Tal boys. Is there an issue there? Shakur had a falling out at all with Turkey? What's the relationship like with Matchroom and Riyadh season and Turkey?
Yeah, great. I mean, our relationship hasn't changed. It's just that, originally the fight was going to be in Saudi. Now it was going to be in America. So numbers change, and he got that message, and obviously he wasn't very happy about that, and now wants to proceed with negotiations to get the fight locked in.
In terms of a long-term relationship with Turki Alalshikh Saudi, obviously we know TKO Boxing League is continuing to gain momentum.
Is it?
Well, from what's being reported, I say momentum. They're trying to, I've saw reports that they're trying to make changes to the Ali Act. On that note, do you think that could happen?
I didn't know that they're trying to get the Ali Act changed. I mean, that's
some suggestions to it. That's what I saw was reported.
It's concerning for fighters. I mean, that act is there to protect fighters. But I don't know, I don't know anything about the league. I think it's great that Dana White is coming into boxing. But I think people's understanding of the league is probably quite different to what the league will be. But time will tell. I think it's great for the sport.
Do you still expect to have Riyadh season shows with yourself, with Frank and Queensbury to run alongside the TKO Boxing League if it was to...
Yeah, I mean, certainly right now, we've got the Times Square event coming up. I know that Frank's working on the Canelo event the day after. Look, we love working with Riyadh season. We love working with His Excellency. As I've always said, with no Riyadh season, we have an incredible business. With Riyadh season, we have an incredible business. We'd love that relationship to continue because we enjoy it. And we're seeing boxing become elevated and great fights and great night happen. So hopefully that relationship continues for a long time.
Jake Paul, Anthony Joshua, Eddie. Is that something we will see in 2026?
Who knows in this mad world? It's definitely not something we're banking on. But look, Jake's wild. I think he wants those big moments, and I think he's probably got enough people telling him he can be competitive in that fight. It's extremely dangerous. Extremely dangerous. So we'll see. I believe it when I see it.
On the Anthony Joshua front, I know that we was talking about the Tyson Fury fight at the beginning of this year before his retirement announcement. Where do we sit with him? What's next? Where you going?
Well, honestly, nothing really to report. I get asked every day. He went back to the gym. He wasn't able to punch properly. He will be in about 3 or 4 weeks, and when he's 100% ready, what we don't want to do is just come up with a date and physically he's not ready to return. We're not in any tearing rush. The next decision's really important because he's probably only got, I don't know, anywhere between 1 and 3 fights left. So we want to get it right, but he will return, I think, back end of the summer, certainly in 2025, and we'll make a decision when he's fit and ready to return to full training.
Just want to ask as well on the theme of Jake Paul. Obviously, we know that the legal dispute has been settled now, Eddie. So has that relationship started to build a little bit? Obviously, with the recent Taylor Serrano free press conference.
I mean, look, I've got to say that even when we were in dispute, we continued to make fights. You know, we don't always get on with Jake and Nikisa, but what they're doing is impressive, you know, and they're smart people. And every deal that we've made, touch wood, has been solid. And we're working together. I mean, you know, hopefully there's another announcement to make of one of our fighters that might fight on one of their shows as well. And hopefully we can do fights between Matchroom and MVP. They've provided Katie Taylor with an incredible opportunity, you know, and they provided Ellie Scottney with an incredible opportunity. We had a first last and we got presented with a contract from MVP and we said, you got to take it. It's a great opportunity for Ellie and I'm really pleased for her. So I think what they're doing is great, and I just want to see fighters benefit, really. And I think we're the best place for any fighter. But when we're not, and there's a better place, I'm happy to see them go and achieve and go and reap the rewards, because it's a tough sport and they deserve it.
Eddie, I appreciate your time as always. How are you going to enjoy your downtime here in Atlantic City?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, look, what's it, Thursday? Bit of dinner tonight. Little run along the boardwalk tomorrow. Fight day run on Saturday along the boardwalk in here, 6 p.m. tomorrow. I know you're mainly a UK channel. I know Boxing News is global.
We're worldwide.
But 6 p.m. in here tomorrow for the weigh-in. And watch Saturday. Will be wild. Wild. And it's only 2 weeks on Saturday till Ben Eubank. Hold on to your fucking hats.
I'm going to squeeze one more. Shakhram Giyasov. Sorry, I was going to ask about Shakhram Giyasov. Obviously, we had that unfortunate news of him losing his child a couple of weeks ago. What's his mental state like, and was there ever a risk of just pulling the fight for him?
Yeah, I mean, I have to be, you know, firstly, I think how can you even come to terms with the loss of a child, you know, especially so young? You know, his daughter, listen, just makes you well up just thinking about it, especially with someone with daughters myself. And you know, the strength that he's having to and when I heard the news, I didn't expect him to fight on the card, if I'm honest. And you know, the strength that he has to proceed is admirable, you know, and just hope that he can, you know, do himself and his daughter proud on Saturday night. You know, he's made the decision to fight with his family, and it's heartbreaking. And you know, God bless all of them, and hope that he can give them the strength to come through this terrible time.
Eddie, thank you. I'll see you soon.